everyone, so these are my law enforcement and civilian interactions videos. They're going to be on different common and or critical situations where you're going to be talking, interacting with officers, troopers, other law enforcement, and it's going to be what to do, what not to do, what to do to cooperate with them. And there's going to be some different advice and stories that I got from state troopers on these different situations. So the first video is on emergency situations. This one it's going to cover natural disasters, medical emergencies, crashes, maybe involving hazardous materials, things like that. The second video will be on emergency situations as well, but in that one I'm going to focus on a particular situation where a person, a criminal, has caused the emergency. The third video will be on traffic stops, the fourth on roadblocks, crashes, and other inconveniences, and the fifth on kids and the police. So this first one on emergency situations, the general thing that the troopers that I talked to told me in any of these situations is that you need to remain calm and patient. It's obviously going to be a hectic situation, and it's going to seem like a long wait if you're waiting for law enforcement to get there. You got to stay as calm as possible so that you can react well and help others around you. So in these situations, let's say there's a crash and you are either involved or you're the first one there. You need to be able to, when you're on the phone with law enforcement, tell them where you are, tell them what has happened, and whether over the phone or in person, you need to be able to tell them if there are any outstanding hazards. So are there any power lines down? Are there any trapped people? Things like that. Don't go closer to an emergency to find out this information. Just tell them what you already know. You don't want to put yourself in further danger. But if you have already observed these things, you should tell them so that they can prevent anyone else from staying in danger as well. Also, you need to be prepared to gather yourself, people around you, your family, neighbors, whatever, and be able to evacuate a situation. Let's say it's a natural disaster. If you get directions from law enforcement over the phone or in person to get out of some place, be able to do that quickly and efficiently and get as many other people to do that as well. You need to share the information that you have learned from law enforcement and tell that to others well. In things where there are crashes, where there are hazardous materials involved, it's very important to, again, warn other people, get them out of the area, be able to notice things like, let's say you have crashed into a large truck and there's a large red sign on the back of the truck. A lot of times that means there's a hazardous or poisonous material in the truck. Things like fires and leaks are also good indicators of that. So if there's something that looks like it could be dangerous, you need to be able to get out of the area, make sure that others don't go in the area. Again, don't go closer to the truck that's crashed and on its side or something to see if there's a sign. If you see it, then you know you need to get far away. If you're already far enough away, don't go back closer to it to find out that information. Also, in medical emergencies, the most important thing to do after telling law enforcement what, where, any outstanding hazards, is that you need to tell them only the actual facts. So if you have come upon someone that is unconscious, passed out, having a medical emergency, don't make a diagnosis. Don't come to a conclusion based on your observations. Only tell them your observations. Tell them the facts. Tell them what you saw. You need to be able to receive instructions over the phone, let's say, on how to give aid if somebody's in a really serious situation. Be able to, again, stay calm and do what's needed for the sake of the other person. And if you stay calm like this, you might be able to end up helping the situation. Who knows, you might end up saving someone's life or at least doing as much as you can to do that. In situations like these, you should probably stay at the scene until a law enforcement officer or trooper tells you that you can go. In these medical emergency situations, oftentimes there's not any outstanding hazards. If it's a medical emergency that a particular person has had, you're not really in danger staying there. And if you are there to talk to later, you might be able to help if a medical personnel needs to talk to you and ask you further questions about what you saw. So in any of these situations, any of these basic emergency situations, again, stay calm, patient, and just exercise common sense. Be able to tell if it's a crash where you need to get out of the area as soon as possible, or a crash where there's not any more outstanding hazards and you need to stay and help with a person's medical emergency. Be able to differentiate between things like that, exercise common sense in what to do, receive instruction from law enforcement, follow it, and relay it to others. So that does it for this first video. The next video will be on another emergency situation, like I said, but we're going to focus on just one that time, and it's going to be a pretty important one. So I will see you then.